Why so jumpy? I merely took it off standby. It's this button you've got to worry about.
There they are. Keep him talking, Bruce.
Don't wait for us, Barry. Go!
You push that button and 8 million die.
8 million and 2, darling. I was going to enjoy the fireworks from a safe distance, but now that you're here, what say we have one last dance?
Here at GameZone, there isn't a week that goes by without someone debating how good of a superhero Batman is. The biggest debate is who would win a fight between Batman and Superman. Injustice: Gods Among Us tries to solve this epic argument for us in the best way ever. Developed by NetherRealm Studios, the team behind the ever-impressive Mortal Kombat, Injustice pits some of the greatest heroes and villains of the DC Comics universe against each other in grand spectacle. Tricked by the Joker, Superman sets up a regime which happens to kill anyone who opposes it. Batman leads the insurgents against Superman, trying to foil the regime and bring Superman down. To help defeat Superman, heroes and villains from an alternate universe are pulled into the other one. This helps explain how characters can fight against their alternate self. Now the two sides are fighting to stop each other. Outside of the story mode, players can test their skills in battles and Star Labs missions. Battles are themed fights where you progress through 11 different enemies, kind of like an arcade mode. Some of the options are a survivor battle, where your health carries over from each fight, or fighting exclusively villains or heroes, with more options to unlock. The Star Labs missions is the equivalent to the Challenge Tower in Mortal Kombat. Online multiplayer matches consist of 1v1 ranked or unranked matches, Survivor, or King of the Hill. Through the single player and multiplayer, you share an experience bar. Performing good attacks and combos, winning, and other tasks give you more experience, leveling you up. Leveling up unlocks pictures and objects for your hero card, which is like your player card in Call of Duty. Enough about modes. This is a fighting game. Let's talk about the combat. The best way to describe the combat in Injustice: Gods Among Us is to say that it's like a cousin of Mortal Kombat. While it's easier for a newcomer to pick up and play, there's a lot of depth to the fighting system. In addition to special powers, combos, and attacks, each character has a unique super move. Super moves are over-the-top cinematic attacks that deal a ton of damage while providing some quality entertainment. The stages are fully interactive and act as a living set. Your actions will wreak destruction down upon the stage, whether in the streets of Gotham or in the Fortress of Solitude. Each stage has elements that act as weapons. Stages are also multi-tiered. At certain areas, you can hurl your opponents through a building, launch them off cliffs, or kick them into an elevator where the brawl continues to the second floor. Once again, they're seamless in execution, and totally meet the expectations of what you would expect in an epic fight between superheroes to look like. Each character also interacts with the environment differently. It all fits in with each character's playstyle. Even Aquaman feels badass. There's a pretty great soundtrack that adds to the epic feel of the game. A game that features superheroes and villains battling it out in epic proportions should have a soundtrack to match it, and Injustice delivers. The details in the environment and character modes are superb, but some textures look a little aged and muddy at points. To call Injustice: Gods Among Us a Mortal Kombat game with a DC Comics skin wouldn't necessarily be wrong. The two games are similar in a lot of respects, and we think Injustice is a hair shy of being as great of a fighting game as Mortal Kombat. There's enough that's unique with Injustice to make it its own game. It has its own identity. This is the DC Comics game that fans have been waiting for. Ultimately, Injustice: Gods Among Us is a very impressive fighting game that comes close to surpassing the bar set by Mortal Kombat. We give Injustice: Gods Among Us a godlike 9. For more gaming news, videos, cheats, and more, fly on over to GameZone.com. Thanks for watching.